Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm building a Lord of the Rings inspired build, and I decided to do the Hall of Kings, which is located in Minas Tirith. And yeah, I just looked at pictures and I thought that would be a really cool build to do. And yeah, I used the pictures that I saw to as the inspiration. Of course, sometimes I needed to change it a little bit just because it wouldn't fit in The Sims. For example, the tower at the front that you can see just in the corner here. It's a little bit taller, I think, in the movies, but I couldn't make it any taller in The Sims because there is a limit on how tall the buildings can be. So yeah, that was of course something that I needed to keep in mind, and some of the windows and so on. So there's a bunch of things that I couldn't do, and yeah, that's why I needed to change some of the things. One of the main thing that I needed to change was the location of that part that I'm building now. In the movie, it's in front of the entrance to the hall, but of course I didn't have enough space to actually put it there. So I decided to switch the location of it and put it next to the hall. And yeah, that was one of the major changes that I did. Now I'm just roofing the build, and it was quite complicated to do so. And because I had so much footage of it, I cut most of that out. And here I'm putting the tree down. It's actually supposed to be the white tree of Gondor, but we don't really have a tree that is really similar to that, so I decided to use the one with the light pink or rose color. I thought it would be fitting. And I imagine that maybe the tree is like later in the movies or even after the movies where Aragorn is already king and like the tree blossoms again because the king is back and there's more like heirs and stuff. That was just my imagination for that. And I also used a lot of pictures from the inside, and here you can see the throne or the space where the throne sits, and the chair on the right is for the advisor, and one here where I'm putting some half walls around it is the actual throne. And I wanted to make it a little bit more imposing, that's why I used those half words. And I thought it looked quite cool. And then you can also see that there are a bunch of statues around the whole hall. And yeah, I used those statues and put them there. Of course, in the movies they're actually different from each other, but we don't have enough statues to actually do that. So I used the same everywhere. And then, of course, I had a bunch of more space that I could fill or had to fill. And I didn't actually know what was in those spaces because we never see them in the movies, or at least I don't remember that. So I decided to make some stuff up and do whatever I wanted to do, and that I will show later as well what I actually did with those spaces. At first, though, I needed to decide what brick I wanted to use outside. You can clearly see that it is brick or stones, but in the movie the stone is quite a lot larger than what we have here. So I needed to improvise, and I just used a grey brick because the stone is grey in the movie, and that made the most sense to me. You can also clearly see the lovely details in the front of the build, so where I am at the moment. So I decided to use some columns to make it a little bit more interesting in the front, just to have something there. And I used the trim to make it a little bit more interesting in the front. So I put them down to not have like a flat piece of wall. in the front and make it a little bit more interesting. And then I did some more work with the doors and the different walls, so they actually look like they are all painted, also with the flooring. And then I introduced knight statues. I knew that I wanted them there because in the movie they are everywhere, the guards are everywhere, so I thought I would substitute those knights with some statues. And yeah, I put them at the entrances and wherever I thought it would make sense to have some. Also as decorations, of course. Especially behind the throne. I didn't really know what was actually there. And I didn't want to watch the movie again just to find out, so I decided to take creative liberty and just put a bunch of statues there. Inside the hall, I also used a bunch of those columns to make it more interesting. And at the moment, I'm doing the guard quarters, which are just in the top of the whole build. I just put a bunch of beds down for them, and in the front the tower is like a guard tower where they hold watch, and I put some games table down for them and a table where they can maybe eat, and also some beds for the guards that are actually on duty so they can nap a little bit or something. And this tower is for the captain of the guard, where he has like private quarters but is still accessible really easily for his men and women. And yeah, I put a little bit of a living room down there, and here is like the public and the guards bathroom. So there's a bunch of toilets and 2 baths and sinks, of course, so they have something to wash themselves. And here I'm in the king's and queen's quarter. So they have a large dining table, a sitting room, and upstairs I put the bathroom, and I also put the study there. So all the space will be the king's study, and I put a bunch of tables around where they can stand around them and discuss strategy or something. And here is the bedroom for the king and the queen. And yeah, I just decided to use that space in that way. I imagine that the king and queen still have larger like houses where they go to retreat in like the countryside or something, and this is just a little bit of a smaller quarter for them. And then I put down some different flooring in the actual living area of the king and queen, and I did some fencing around. Then I did some more details at the bottom with some roof pieces, and I put a bunch of plants around the living area, and I was finished. Now you can see some screenshots of the build. I hope you like it. You can download it from the gallery. My ID is TGGSims, same as my YouTube channel name. I also hope that you liked the video and will consider pressing the thumbs up button and subscribing. Thanks very much for watching and have a great week. Bye!